Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Tuesday, February 10, 2026 and I am Abdul Majid Awan and we have some great, really interesting stories for you. Before that, a little market update. Gold is going up again, so silver is stabilized. Markets are coming back in the US, in the Middle Eastern markets. We reported on Smashi Business that they have been very stable throughout all the blood red that we've seen in the last week on the US markets, in the European markets, in the Asian markets even. But Middle East was great. I think it's part of the strategy where people are now considering UAE markets, UAE's DFM, ADX, Saudi Tadawul, Egyptian EGX. They're all part of the global companies recalibration now. But today's top stories are one of the stories is actually about the markets, but there is a big recalibration happening on Saudi Vision 2030, and the finance minister himself has said that they are going to evolve their long-term plans. Another story that we're going to discuss today is Mr. Mohammed Al Abbar, the Emaar founder, the famous man, the face of Dubai, one of the biggest faces of Dubai. He also leads a company called Americana, and they've secured a 75-year Malak Al Tawuk license in regional expansion push. They're picking a Lebanese brand and making it regional and global eventually. Lastly, the story is Mubadala, one of the biggest sovereign wealth funds, one of the three sovereign wealth funds in Abu Dhabi, owned by the Abu Dhabi government, is exiting Getir, which is a delivery, all kinds of delivery service in Turkey, and they're selling the delivery arm specifically to Uber, and the valuation of the whole business is nearly $1 billion. So we'll tell you all about it. At the end, we'll tell you a little surprise, so stay tuned with us. We are doing something special at Step Dubai 2026. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Feb 11, we are going to be there. On Feb 12, we're going to surprise you with a guest appearance from one of the biggest startups in Saudi market. We will reveal the details later at the end of the show, so stay tuned. But the very first story for today is nothing else than Saudi Arabia. We've seen so much coverage on the Western media about how Saudi Arabia is not doing great, this and that. They're trying to downplay the whole vision. But Saudi Arabia finally has given an answer, and they're saying that the kingdom is recalibrating its Vision 2030 strategy, with the finance minister Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Jadaan saying major long-term plans must evolve when circumstances change. And we have seen the circumstances change. Oil is being priced down. It's trading or being bought at $60 to $65 per barrel. Speaking to Bloomberg, Al Jadaan said that with a 15-year program, whenever you plan for a longer term, you will need to make sure that you adjust these plans as you go, pointing to shocks such as COVID-19, inflation, geopolitical tensions, which we've seen rise in the Middle East, and rapid technological changes, which one of them is AI. And he said all of these are drivers behind the rethink of the Saudi Vision 2030 strategy. He said the government has begun discussions this week on how to present a new 5-year roadmap aimed at doubling down on high-impact sectors including tourism, manufacturing, logistics, and technology. Read AI here again, while ensuring basic services such as energy and water keep pace. Al Jadaan also stressed that projects have been scaled up, slowed, or paused to avoid overheating the economy and to allow the private sector to take the lead, supported by reskilling programs and education reforms. He also highlighted strong economic fundamentals, including low inflation in Saudi Arabia, which we've reported extensively on Smashi Business. Also, record female workforce participation. We've reported that on Smashi Business as well. And a surge in new business creation. We also reported about how there have been thousands and thousands of companies who are coming to Saudi Arabia, setting up regional headquarters and doing great. And this all, he says, boosts consumption and investment. On public finances, the minister said Riyadh is comfortable with its outlook and expects the budget deficit to narrow this year, adding that the kingdom has contingency plans and alternative financing options if needed, while avoiding complacency amid global uncertainty. There's a very interesting video interview with Bloomberg. There's a clip that I've taken out. We will play it for you right now to understand what he actually means from all this.
I spoke about this, Jumana, before, and the idea is when you have a 15 years plan, you will need to make sure that you adjust these plans as you go, because a lot of things could happen. And we have seen COVID-19, the inflation, monetary tightening, trade fragmentation, geopolitical tensions. And on the other side, you have seen a technology revolution that did not exist when we started Vision 2030. So we needed to adjust our plans. Our North Star is very clear. We need to diversify our economy. But the way we go about it is adjustable. And what we have seen is we have shifted certain projects that we scaled down, certain projects that we actually expanded, certain projects that we put on hold. Key reason for this is you wanted to make sure that you don't do too much at the same time, because that overheats your economy. You didn't need to do too much at the same time because your private sector will not be able to catch up. You need to make sure that your private sector is actually leading these activities. And you need to ensure that your people are able actually to capture the value that you are bringing onto the table. So reskilling, adjusting your education system, etc., that will enable the people to actually benefit from it.
The interview was a long interview with Jumana. She is a friend of Smashi Business. She's a very good host on Bloomberg Television, but it was a really interesting interview. If you want to watch it, you can go to Bloomberg socials, obviously. But stay on Smashi Business socials if you want all the updates from the world of business, tech, and AI. Meanwhile, the second story of the day is very interesting because Abu Dhabi's Mubadala investment company is reshaping its exposure to Turkey's fast delivery sector after agreeing to sell Getir's delivery business to Uber Technologies in a move that strengthens the US firm's regional ambitions. Uber said it will acquire Getir's food, grocery, retail, and water delivery operations with the assets potentially valued at up to $1 billion. And that was according to Bloomberg News in an earlier report. Mubadala had backed Getir during its rapid pandemic COVID-19 era expansion and later took control after tensions with the founders. The fund has since been reviewing options for the company's various units, including selling Getir's car rental arm to Tic Tac and fundraising for its finance business. Mubadala Deputy Group Chief Executive Walid Al-Mukarrab Al-Muhairi said, Turkey remains a highly attractive market for the Abu Dhabi investor. Getir, which was once valued at, you would love this number, at nearly $12 billion, a COVID bond company valued at $12 billion. But then it scaled back overseas operations and consumer habits shifted and funding dried up across the sector. Uber plans to integrate Getir's services into the Trendyol Go app after previously agreeing to buy a $700 million stake in the Turkish platform Trendyol Go. Founded in Istanbul in 2015, Getir helped pioneer ultra-fast grocery delivery using local warehouses, a model that surged during lockdowns, but later faced sharp pressure as interest rates rose in Turkey. Another Mubadala deal we should talk about is that Mubadala Capital, which is the capital investment arm of Mubadala itself, has also agreed to fully acquire US outdoor advertising group Clear Channel for $6.2 billion, with TWG Global committing about $3 billion in equity. The all-cash deal values shares at a 71% premium and is expected to close in the third quarter of 2026 this year. I should mention before we play the video of Mubadala CEO Khaldun Al-Mubarak. He was talking at the World Economic Forum in Davos about how they had a very great 2025 and they're planning to stay with this strategy if it makes them the most active sovereign wealth fund in 2024 and in 2025. But we need to highlight it here that Getir, a lot of people had a lot of contentions about how it was handled, but Mubadala actually saved the whole Getir from falling to zero. We did a lot of stories on Smashi Business about it. The first one was in the start of 2024 when one of the founders came online, posted on X, all his socials actually, that Mubadala was doing a very rapid takeover. They were in the wrong, but then later a court in Turkey finally gave the decision in favor of Mubadala, because it was an infighting between Gadir, between the founders, and Mubadala actually came to save the day, took over, paid a lot of money to them, and then eventually they made Gadir sales point where they want to sell different parts to different people who are interested. Here's Mubadala's Khaldun al-Mubarak telling you how, why, and why Mubadala's strategy is working so nicely.
Active year for Mubadala. Listen, the markets have been very interesting in the sectors we like, in the geographies we like. We've been working hard since inception to get Mubadala to where it is today. And I think over the last 2 years, we've really cranked it up as an organization, as an institution. And 25, I think we deployed anywhere between $35 to $40 billion in terms of investments around the world. We've had a lot of monetizations also. We've effectively monetized probably the same amount, around 35 to 40 billion also.
What about the sectors you like going into 2026? Is it the same pretty much playbook that you looked at in 2025, or are things going to be a little different?
Yeah, I think our trajectory in terms of sectors over the last couple of years has been pretty consistent. I think we've taken a very strong view on artificial intelligence, on AI, the entire spectrum of technology. I think that's an area Mubadala has been really spending a lot of time on. So that continues to be the case. I think on the infrastructure side of it, digital infrastructure, that remains, again, a very core area for us. Healthcare, consumer, financial services, credit. These are, again, areas which have performed extremely well over these last couple of years. And I think going forward, we continue to be pretty convinced of these spaces.
When it comes to sovereign wealth funds, there's a few people who are always the face of them. And Khaldun al-Mubarak, Mubadala's CEO, he sits on $330 billion assets under management, one of the biggest sovereign wealth funds in the UAE and in Abu Dhabi. He's such a nice, so nice as a speaker, and he always has the numbers on his hand. Very nice to hear from him. But there's another person who's very nice to hear too. He's there at every regional event, giving us lessons on why marketing is not important and why meetings are not important. And that is Mr. Al-Abbar, the founder of Emaar, one of the person who is synonymous with the growth of Dubai in what it has become, a mammoth. He is also the head of Americana Restaurants. It's a company which is listed on both Saudi Tadawul and ADX. And very interestingly, Americana Restaurants International is expanding its regional footprint after securing a 75-year exclusive license to develop Lebanese fast casual brand Malak Al Tawouk across the Middle East, North Africa, and CES markets, while also moving to acquire its franchise operations in the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Founded in Beirut in 1996, Malak Al Tawouk operates more than 45 restaurants, physical brick-and-mortar restaurants in Lebanon, and another 19 across the wider Middle East, with additional outlets in France and Canada. The family-owned brand will join Americana's portfolio through two transactions that mark the group's entry into the fast-growing Arabic cuisine segment. Alongside the licensing deal, Americana signed an agreement to buy 10 existing Malak Al Tawouk outlets in the UAE and Saudi Arabia for $20.8 million, funded from internal cash reserves. These stores generate annualized revenue of about $21 million and net income of roughly $1.7 million. Completion of this whole deal is expected by the end of February 2026, and obviously it is subject to regulatory approvals. Chairman Mohammed Al-Abbar said the move was a decisive step in diversifying into Arabic cuisine and accelerating long-term growth. Americana, which reported 2025 net profit of $219 million, just the profit, not the revenue, and a revenue of $2.5 billion, operates 2,749 restaurants across 12 markets after opening 216 new stores just last year, just in 2025. So it's very interesting. I found a very interesting video of Mr. Al-Abbar actually talking about Americana restaurants. It's very rare that people ask him about it, but in 2022, they did a dual listing on Saudi Tadawul and on ADX. They're incorporated in AGGM. They're headquartered in Abu Dhabi. But it's a very interesting interview, and he tells you why he bought Americana, and why such a family legacy. Americana itself is a 58-year-old company. It tells you all the story of why they went for listing and how important Americana is to his whole global and regional empire.
We bought the company 5 years ago, and we put our head down. We delisted the company. We done some reorganization. This is a 58-year-old company. This is a great company with about our food business is only 40,000 people aside from our FMCG, which we are not listing. So we've done. The management have done an amazing job, and the company is performing extremely well. And it's about time that we give some money back to the shareholders.
Give some money to the shareholders and monetize for yourself, Mohammed.
But at the same time, I think it's time for the public and for our customers to own part of our shares as well.
I wish I could eat more pizza. Mohammed, you're going for a dual listing between Riyadh and Abu Dhabi. What is the top line benefit of that? Does it give the stock more depth? Does it give it more of an international appeal to the investor? Why now in terms of the dual listing?
If you were to look at the activity in both markets, I think the UAE and Saudi Arabia, they really had liquidity, they had depth. If you look at the track record of the past probably a few years, I think it's only ideal for us to really be able to take advantage of these markets and benefit our shareholders and our customers as well.
This was a really interesting interview with Manis Kreni when he was in Bloomberg. Now he's joined the National and he's doing all his very good interviews there. We have a comment, PR Nani saying, sir, very good afternoon. Hello, PR Nani. Good afternoon to you as well. Before we finish the show, something really interesting is happening tomorrow. As I told you at the start of the show, we have a surprise for you. We are interviewing the Foodix founder tomorrow. Not tomorrow, actually on Thursday. Tomorrow is the first day of Step Dubai 2026. Augustus Media, the family company which owns all the brands Lovin, Smashi and ODM. It is a media partner for the event. The event is happening at Dubai Internet City. If you're interested in knowing what's happening in the world of startups, if you're interested in knowing what's happening generally in the MENA region, in terms of business startups, and very interestingly, this year their theme is about AI. You should be there at Dubai Internet City at Step Dubai 2026. The 2-day event is going to be actually great, amazing. On Thursday, we're interviewing Foodix founder live on the main stage at 3:45 p.m. You should be there if you're attending the event. But if you don't, we will still record it and put it up for you to listen how Foodix is revolutionizing, changing how the POS systems, how AI is incorporated in it. They have a lot to talk about. We discussed a lot with the team, and we will be there. You guys can come say hi. We have a booth there as well. Let's meet there. And till then, this has been a Smashi Business Show. Smashi Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. You should follow us across all social media channels. We are on Upscroll now as well. We got like 10 followers as soon as we got there, but we need more. We need to support our local regional startups, and Upscroll is one of the regional startups. Actually, one of the investors for Upscroll is Fitzy Fund, which is owned by Richard Fitzgerald, who is the CEO and founder of Augustus Media. So it's very interesting. You should be on Upscrolled as well. But if you're not, go there, join it, and follow Smashi Business. And another most important thing that we have is our daily newsletter. Goes out 7 days a week, 365 days a year to keep you updated on whatever is happening in the MENA region, in the Arab world, in the Gulf world, when it comes to business, AI, tech, and startups. So subscribe there. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow live from Step Dubai 2026 from Dubai Internet City. Have a great day. Bye-bye.